Alright, so let's follow Asimov's plan. First, let's hear
You know how
where he wants us to go.
with how much this series likes to bounce around characters, how funny would it have been if we just joined him in his ship and forgot our ship despite her having sentience?
No, this is
Which
actually gonna be
seems
a
to be
plot point for
downplayed.
later.
Huh.
Also, the cool thing is you can see is that each system has its own unique perks, so they try to make them, a bit more personal, having each of them, having something like one of them having a comet passing by, for example, or an asteroid field. So I do
It's
like
to
that.
really it's to really showcase the different systems, since typically the idea is like, well, we would usually stick to one system per game, but now we can do it all.
It's a bit similar to how an open world, game like GTA, for example, or more of the modern ones that have that kind of formula, like say the Arkham games starting with City are divided in particular zones, and each of them do feel particularly unique as travel through them or free them. Infamous on the PS3 was released also I think a bit before this, and had something similar going on.
Super speed in space, getting some Sonic vibes here, which is a-okay with me.
Well, as long as it's not doesn't go through the insanity that is Mad Space, I'm fine.
God, Mad Space. Getting A ranks on that stage, Christ.
Why even try?
To get the completion, to unlock Green Hill Zone, and to show that I could do it for our playthrough. God help me.
So Dwaves, are you interested in that program?
Again, it boggles my mind that they didn't include subtitles for stuff that people might easily miss with the radio. It's especially a shame because if you're not paying super close attention, you might miss some pretty great cameos too.
Like I said, I don't think I managed to even show all of them. Like, for example, the one about from Rusty Pete and Captain's Lag having their own radio show that actually gets a letter from Tolwyn.
Remind me, can they pretty much happen anywhere, or are some of these cameos like location
I never
based?
bothered to check, but it wouldn't surprise me. I probably should have done a bit more, research on the matter, admittedly. Like I said, every bunch of zonies that you collect, you do get specific upgrades for your ship. In this case, a tether. There you go. You can grab an object like, an asteroid or a small crystal, like an icy crystal, and you can just drag them somewhere, which serves for us for mostly side quest. Some upgrades will be mandatory, meaning that the game does a bit of a late-on thing, or in terms of platform and something like say. Donkey Kong 64, where it tells you collect this amount of zoning to progress because we require this specific upgrade to pass through, this level. But it's nothing too particularly, damaging. You just collect them as you can. If you collect them as you go, you should be perfectly good to go.
Attention, Starship Signature 3371 Alpha. This is Station Chief Croy. Do you copy?
I copy you, Croy. What can I do for you?
We have a down transport vessel in your quadrant.
I love how the subtitles in this are just for the person you're talking with.
We'd be happy to pay you for hauling it here. What do you say?
It's like, again, that's the inconsistency. It's not even just inconsistent between games, it's inconsistent within the game
like
itself.
Like I said, it was the time where subtitles were seen in a more exotic kind of way rather than an actual necessity.
I do wonder if maybe some companies also thought that subtitles would mess with the movie-like immersion
That
of
wouldn't
our more
surprise me
cinematic
considering
games.
a lot of games around this era, like Remember Me, unfortunately had been very, very tiny. Even, again, these days you can make an argument that it happens because older games, when they are upscaled for a modern system, on a PC port for example, obviously since they have the resolution properly upscaled, everything, the HUD maybe doesn't upscale with them, because you know it was built for a more crude type of system. But a lot of times they were the default thing, and a lot of times people have to, you know, work with, you know, pen tools to fix things.
It also probably doesn't help that, you know, in those regards, you know, nowadays I think you can sometimes even request some movie theaters provide captions, but of course, like, I mean, obviously you wouldn't expect subtitles to be at a movie theater unless it's in a different language.
Yeah, my country has captions only for movies that are projected in their original, you know, release, like say English or anything coming from Hollywood. And that's mostly because they're subtitles for my country rather than, you know, for the language itself.
Yeah, I hear that nowadays some theaters will provide like closed captions if they are requested, but yeah.
If it happens,
again,
I don't think it's that known in my country, unfortunately.
And again, far from me to try and sound pessimistic, but again, given that this was the time a lot of game studios thought, hey, we should try and be movie companies, it would not surprise me if that was the reason.
I can tell you that, okay, it's a bit of a complicated subject, so I want to hope it's not as crude as I'm about to guess, but one particular commercial here in my country that is about ear augmenting devices for the audibly impaired makes it a kind of a selling point for having emotional manipulation with the grandson of the old person in question, because yes, they're aimed at that kind of public. Well, apologies for the recording mishap, but they have the grandson of the old person having to plead to him in a, you know, in a crying tone, please grandpa, get this device so we don't have to watch movies with those pesky subtitles.
Oh god! Wow! I mean, don't get me wrong.
I have to ponder how much, like how many people are there who consider them that distracting.
Like, I'm sorry, if anything, I prefer to have subtitles by default, and like, and my hearing is just fine. Like, sometimes subtitles legit will make clear what some characters are saying, or sometimes they'll even reveal stuff that you normally wouldn't be able to hear even with good hearing, because sometimes the sound editing isn't good, or for some reason they intentionally make it that faint, essentially. Like,
Anyway,
I'm sorry, like, oh god.
Anyway, Azumuth fucked up, as you can imagine, because he's still on the #1 hit list on Nefarious, unfortunately. Also, thankfully your wing shot comes around. And this is the planets of, I think, the Terachnos, I think I mentioned, which Nefarious has employed. I'll explain two of them in a second, because we have a new weapon, the Tesla spikes.
One spike is effective. Two or more, and
Sci-fi writers trying not to call an electric device Tesla challenge level impossible.
I know, right?
It's a neat trick. You place, you know, spikes on the ground, and when they are contacting with each other, they form electric traps.
Tesla spikes, available only at Regiment.
Do you sell anything that's legit?
Remember, Jova, this is the commerce, baby. That's what we're dealing with, weapons. Again, just be glad that Slim Cognito is not around for this. Sure, let's get also this armor. I still don't particularly like it, but at least it's green. Yeah, the helmet is a bit better, but looks like Ratchet is about to become a proper jockey or something. Weird.
Weird as it may sound, my preferred colors for Ratchet are either orange or red, maybe some yellow, basically.
I am a bit of a fan of B2 Edgy for you armors in general.
Ah, yes, the Halo armor.
Like I said, the only reason why I don't properly show him until the Exos is because we will screw that with a lot of the cutscenes. So let's keep Ratchet's potato face where it belongs, shall we?
One thing I'll give modern gaming nowadays is that at least usually whenever you get a cool costume, it at least is made so that it can interact with the characters relatively well, even on special cutscenes.
Well, Deadlock tried to do that by having the helmet, reforming all over, but if you noticed, it caused a couple of bugs in the port. But anyway, like I said, the Terachnos are unfortunately all your nerd stereotypes from this particular era. So basically, basement-dwelling nerds who don't understand how manly man works and are just having big brains to develop computers, but they don't understand what life is. That's basically what they're. That's their one trick pony with the jokes. It's not like they're incompetent. Again, they're mastering machinery and everything, but the game kind of takes a bit the piss out of them in saying, "Oh, they don't have physical strength and all."
But yeah, no, integration is obviously stuff that got better with more modern consoles here and there, but sometimes I do wonder if, maybe we might have developed with some of that quicker if a lot of companies weren't obsessed with, first and foremost, how cinematic and movie-like games can be. Oh, excuse me, sirs. But yeah, no, when it comes to my preferred when it comes to my preferred Ratchet look, I'd say it's, something along the lines with what he wore in, like, the first Future games, orange bodysuit, basically, something that blends well enough with his fur without making it look like he's topless or naked.
I get it. Hey, look, even the taxis return to bring you back to your destination.
Wow, it really does feel like this could be the last game.
It's also interesting how, despite that factor going on, the game doesn't bother to call too much attention to potential callbacks. They are present all over the place, obviously, but it's more of a case of rewarding you for noticing them, rather than pointing the camera and says, did you get it? So?
Mind your manners. Any super intelligent being can see that this is a different Lombax. My colleague is just upset.
Again, these aliens are literally the embodiment of the, to be fair, you need to have a higher IQ to understand this copy pasta.
Yeah.
What's he gonna do? Fly over the grid and activate the reboot?
Yes, I've seen Baby Genius, I know exactly what to do, thank you. I wish I could forget to have seen Baby Geniuses, but, sometimes I can't hope for miracles.
I guess
I don't even remember if I've seen it or not, and if I have, I've forgotten it, and if I haven't, I don't want to see it.
Reeves, the fact that you forgot it, that means you can totally have a first experience to begin with all over again. Aren't you excited?
No.
Aside from the fact that you were in the Baby Geniuses commentary, Dwibs, the funny thing is, there's a plot point about babies losing their memory of their genius years, so in a sense, you just missed out on your genius because you forgot watching the movie. So watching that movie again will restore your genius. Like, yes, I do know that a lot of its sequels were El Cheapo, but how did that thing get, like, 5 movies still?
I think the producers were an indicator of that.
They must have been, because,
I'd like to remind you that one of the people who worked on that went to actually be directly involved with the sequel, prequel, Tekken live-action movie, for reasons that escaped me, mind you. I don't know why would you pass from one to the other.
Like, at least on the one hand, like, any Baby Genius movies beyond 2 are, like, incredibly hard to find. Like, I think they were direct-to-video, but still, though.
What company even owns the IP right now? Like, Universal, I guess?
Could it be Disney? Let's see.
Dear God, no.
Okay, let's see. Baby Geniuses.
Let's see if I can...
Distributed by Sony Pictures.
Oh,
Production
God.
company TriStar.
Here you go.
Oh!
This ought to take you right to
Please
Neurot's
tell me
Plaza.
this was not Sony trying to franchise it.
Sony does have the C-tier direct-to-video division, as we attested with the Swan Princess sequel, so it wouldn't surprise me. Then again, so does Universal, as me and Deji have attested with stuff like Doom Annihilation. Did you even Did you even knew that it was a Kindergarten Cop 2 movie? I didn't until I got to search.
Oh, those. Okay.
That was the Larry the Cable guy, wasn't it?
Yes.
No, wait. Larry the Cable Guy. I think that's Jingle All the Way 2 you're thinking of.
That's the
not,
thing, Joe, but not the only
Cop
one
2.
that did it. I think Kindergarten Cop 2 also has the Larry the Cable Guy.
From what I recall, that one didn't. If I recall correctly, Kindergarten Cop 2 is, well, basically the first Kindergarten Cop, but just silly. It's kind of like that Bigger and Fatter Liar movie, which tries to trick you into thinking it's a sequel to Big Fat Liar, but it is legit. Just Big Fat Liar again.
Or, again, Jingle All the Way 2, which is a retread of the first movie, just with different characters. Go on.
Also, regarding Baby Geniuses, apparently in 2011, there was an original series based on the films announced.
Why?
But get this, you probably have not heard about it because it is only aired in two places. The Far East, supposedly, and Italy, apparently.
No.
So congratulations, Tio. Your country is one of the few exclusive places where that series aired.
I never asked for this.
And apparently, oh wait, the series was released as a set of the movies, Baby Geniuses and the Mystery of the Crown Jewels, which is episodes 1 through 4.
Oh.
And then there was Baby
So
Geniuses and
look it
the
up.
Treasures of Egypt, episodes 5 through... Oh, so that's where a lot of these direct-to-video
They were
sequels are
just
coming from.
compilations.
They were compilations of the original series. Good lord. And yet, for some reason, John Voight kept coming back for things.
I mean, to
like,
be fair, Jova, it's John Voight. He will do that.
Jesus Christ.
Alright, here's how Azumuth is gonna get us in.
The entire city is looking for you.
I'm here to cash in on that favor, Jarvis. We need a way inside Pollux Industries.
I knew one day you'd make me an accomplice to terrorism. I'll run a diagnostic on the security system. In the meantime, you better take cover.
Azumuth literally has a person on the inside that we can use to actually get in, but we had to, fight a bit in the meantime. Also, we're still posters on My Blaster Runs Hot. Who wants to see that horrible? Jeez.
I guess it's a big hit in this
Why
galaxy
not
here.
Nefarious would allow his arch nemesis horror movie to be projected?
Okay, assuming that this is not too long after the start of the game, maybe this was part of Nefarious trying to give off the guys that he
While
supported
not
them.
in exact details, we will learn what happened to Nefarious and how he got from, the asteroid at the end of the game to this point. But the point still is that it still allowed him time to rebuild properly his forces and just waited quietly in this particular galaxy where nobody knew him and where the Galactic Rangers could not find him, So some time had to have passed. Similar to Tachyon, a lot of his planets are under his control, basically. Like I said, the entire Terachnoid race is practically under his belt.
That's why my best guess is this was maybe part of Nefarious' ploy while tricking the Zoni by showing, oh look, I even support them in that way, shape, or form.
I guess maybe it's that.
Like the obvious, the obvious meta reason is just, hey, they added that in as a reference,
Basically.
But hey, assuming somebody was thinking about how it could fit in the story context, that would be my best guess. Right, yeah, John Voight is, I mean...
He was the villain in the first Anaconda movie, The
Now
guy
he's
has
in a
no
p-
shame.
Look. I'll just say this: condolences to Angelina Jolie. I'm glad she turned out as good as she did, in spite of having a dad like that. Like,
if there's something that I learned, Jova, is that children who have parents who are very strongly, you know, on a political spectrum will tend to actually go on the opposite side. But we're not here for that.
Ionize the hologram powered conduit. That should give your hover boots enough thrust to send you into the maintenance hatch.
Sounds simple enough.
Not exactly. It'll take all three of us. I'm activating the transport ramps to the west side of the plaza. Head there now and await further instructions.
genius.
Alright, let's follow Azumuth to get inside properly. What do the Terachnos use these particular plazas for?
Skateboarding.
They're not the species to do that, Jova. We will get a
No.
DMT joke later on.
No. You see, Tio, they're secretly actually super cool nerds who pull off Tony Pro skating.
Again, we've seen species in the previous games, and even in this one, but have no problem overcoming their physical appearance in order to use mech to actually move around, you know, as you know, help to them. But the Terachnoids, oh no, they just are proud of their crustacean, you know, legs and moving on in a slow manner for the sake of, you know, demonstrating that they're fucking nerds, I guess.
Well, like you said, it begs the question why they curve the walls like this, because these seem like walls that are made for skateboarding.
It's kind of like with Spiral. Again, when this happened in stuff like Spiral 3, where the ancient Rome stylized level had the skateboard park, it's your suspension of disbelief going around, and the only lampshade you get is when you talk with Sheila about how the Forgotten World used to have a lot of magic thanks to the dragons being around. So,
I have every confidence in Ratchet's abilities. I'll contact you from the conduit.
there you go. Basically, these small spaceships act as enemy generators, spawning. But trying to destroy them, it's not particularly easy, as you can see, because they're a bit spongy at this stage of the game. I think in challenge mode you have a bit of a better shot, especially because you have better weapons at that point. So you can reduce drastically the amount of enemies that will appear if you manage to destroy them quickly enough. Again, it's not helpful that, like I said, when there are too many of the Nefarious robots around, they just, you know, combine into the mini sentry.
Joy.
Well, not for me.
Come to the hollow terminal. We don't have a lot of time.
Okay, are there any more robots that I should be knowing about?
Hey, Rat, I'm going to perform a remote unlock of all the power switches in this plaza. That should enable you to activate them and ionize a hologram conduit.
Usually I have Clank to translate stuff like this.
Yeah, right, but he's still like a nerd, am I right?
General lowers it.
Even though you're technically a nerd yourself, since you're the
Oh, Joe, don't you see?
techno
He's a
genius.
mechanic. He's a physical type of nerd. Not like these dweebs and their
right.
computers.
Of course, I forgot about the different tribes of nerd.
Can you just said that the first time?
I remember when we got the jock nerds. That was a thing.
Like in movies where the nerds are kind of more shredded than a lot of the bullies.
I saw, oh, right, I need to perform this on a time limit. I saw recently an essay that talked about the rise and fall of the 2.5 Men, and I completely forgot that after Charlie Sheen's departure from that show, they replaced him with what was the stereotype of a tech bro at the time, which was kind of what you described, and it was terrible.
I swear, like 2.5 Men, How I Met Your Mother, and oh god,
The Big Bang Theory.
Big Bang Theory and oh god, what's that other one called? Something Lies, Lovely Lies, or
I don't
whatnot.
know about
But
that.
that was just a thing with shows around the time, having these great followings, but then tripping on their face during the end. Now, to be fair, in regards to 2.5 Men, that seems like something that grew and accumulated over time, but still.
It's complicated. He was mostly relying on Charlie Sheen losing his goddamn mind.
Yeah.
Alright, we can hopefully finally get inside. How did Azumuth got there first?
I guess he
just
flew with
that
those
good.
hover boots. Also, I guess it's implied that Ratchet's managed to integrate his gravity mechanism with the hover boots that Azumuth gave him.
No, he already had them with those before, whenever we used them on Wars and on ship.
This is it. Our only way into the building. Last chance to back up.
Age before beauty, General.
Wise guy, just like your father.
Alright, time to actually storm the building.
Whee!
You made it. Come on. The main office is this way.
God damn it.
In main server room. Mobilizing all units.
Blasted bioscan.
It's not going to be that easy, is it?
Never.
When is it ever?
I mean, to be fair, it's kind of partially at least a big nefarious to have a bioscanner that specifically can recognize a species that by all accounts should be extinct for the universe.
It does make sense though, since Ratchet does have his disguising mechanics, so...
Yeah, I don't
Nefarious
think we'll get to the auto guys way later on, but still, I guess your point.
It's the little things, like, Nefarious, again, can be a buffoon, but
No, he's
to
actually
his credit, he
surprisingly
is...
very competent for the most part. The only reason why
Yeah.
he tends to fail is that sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes he gets to be a bit, too much on the gloating side, and as lampshaded, Lawrence does a lot of things on behind his back, basically. But just as much is just because, well, Ratchet has a bigger gun. Simple as.
Yes.
It's the Pokemon conundrum, or any RPG that is not having as a plot point like Undertale. You can make all the speeches about the power of friendship that you want, but if my stick is bigger than yours, I'm still gonna beat you with it.
Yes, dear friend, I know you're going to try your best against me in a Pokemon battle. Now, please don't mind as I absolutely beat your team with this Rayquaza I got.
The best part is that even the fucking Pokemon anime knew about this, because it had that character in the Gen 4 anime who steamrolled first Ash and then Cynthia with his legendary team.
Pretty much. And that's saying something because it was flipping Cynthia too.
To be fair, that happened
So
off
how
screen.
come he wasn't the pseudo champion afterwards?
Technically, he was considered, but I think enough time passed between that and Origins for Cynthia to just still retain her place. You should have edgy about
what
that.
happened? What happened was he caught up in a drug scandal.
I don't know,
Okay,
the
to
character
be
I
fair,
think
if I
just
were-
disappeared like many in the anime.
Also, one thing to remember is that typically the title isn't up for grabs unless you're doing it officially on Champions Road, after you've beaten the Elite Four and whatnot.
But Dibs has
Like,
kind
if
of a point, Jova, because even the games are a bit inconsistent with that. It seems that it's propending to what you say, but then Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire tend to have the whole Delta V show where Xenia literally chastises Steven Stone and tells him, "Oh, you're not the champion anymore, why should I actually listen to you?" Because, Xenia is that kind of character, the one that, she's technically in the right, but you just wish you would just stop.
I'm honestly surprised that there hasn't been, in anything Pokemon related so far, a storyline involving Poke doping or something.
Nice work.
Okay,
Couldn't have
what
left
now?
this for me, hmm?
Oh,
Lord
doping.
over consequences.
Yeah, I called it Pokey Dopey because you go put Pokey in front of every.
Well, that's the thing
Didn't we
with
kind of have pokey doping in the Detective Pikachu movie where they're using
that's
that
the
illegal
thing with
substance?
it's an actual game mechanic. You have the stat boosters that you can use in battle that are just valuable.
So Lance Armstrong would be right at home there.
Now, it is perfectly legal to use rare candies to boost a Pokemon's level every now and then.
That's a level. I'm talking about, like I said, attack, speed, defense, or special, boost. The one that are single use for the battle, without a replacement of moves like, Sword Dance, for example.
We can literally feed our Pokemon drugs during fights.
It's literally one of the better, tools to use in a Nuzlocke because a lot of times you might not have the occasion to grind that much.
In which case it is perfectly justified.
Of course. Oh, thanks, Azumuth.
Don't mind if we drop in.
If you intend to manhandle me, I'll have you know I am a level 6
Get it?
wizard
He's
with
a nerd.
ability. That hurt my pride and my solar plexus.
Looks like there's an obsidian eye somewhere in Krill Canyon. I can't lock on any closer.
Oh.
Greetings, my old friend. Been a long time. I'm thrilled you're here to witness my greatest triumph. And look, you've met the Elder. Pity the first Lombax.
To be fair, Nefarious, as far as we know, didn't know you about Angela, so I'm allowing this.
So what is it this time, Nefarious? You still trying to turn everyone into robots? Or is it just good old-fashioned galactic domination?
Part of me wants to let you live long enough to find out. The other part really wants to kill you. You know, for old time's sake. Decisions.
Which is like...
I think he took the latter option. God.
Okay, to his credit, pragmatic villainy. Might as well try and detonate while your enemy is on there. Guys at the computers, you maybe want to move?
To be fair though, we're tracking them down with that thing, the DX-V99.
Have to take it out. I'll cover you from the air. You just find
Which 50 sci-fi movie did you crawl out from? This is not Destroy All Humans.
I mean, that would totally be Nefarious's jam, let's be honest.
Ratchet, you're literally trying to find your best friend. It's not the time for that kind of creeping.
All that was missing was him turning to the camera for that line. It's like, yep, here we are.
Oh, sorry,
Probably
BX,
wondering how I got here.
Sorry, my mistake.
I could believe that it was intentional, that they were just going with the fact that Nefarious doesn't know about Angela, but that doesn't explain why Ratchet doesn't mention to Azumuth, oh yeah, by the way, there's actually a few other Lombaxes like us out there, at least Angela.
It's more treated almost like a joke, the fact that Ratchet himself doesn't talk about it. Again, there are story reasons, like I said, apparently Max, managed to gather how to dodge while he himself disappeared. So again, if that fabled new game finally tries to deal with to see where the Lombaxes went, ideally we should be able to finally found her as well. And to be fair, I think Katsushi is still, in the business of VAing. So.
As far as I know, yeah, it's like, look, I get it. We don't need every game to be like Sonic Frontiers that goes out of its way to explain every little bit of lore and connect it properly, even though I honestly feel like that was a good thing on Frontiers' end, but nevertheless...
apparently people don't like when, Sonic products are making references these days.
I really chalk that up to either tourists or people who are just trying to find reasons to hate on Ian.
You'll have to rip off all 3 bolts.
I mean, I'm a little mixed on the references myself, but that's the thing, though. I've been regarding the Sonic fandom as one that cannot make up its mind for ages now, and
Pretty much.
that's another example.
Hurry, while it's vulnerable.
Anyways, you can
Again,
see,
maybe-
for now the boss fight is to literally dismantle this thing piece by piece, starting with its crotch thing.
Beautiful.
The bolt's exposed. Go for it. Good job, you've crippled him. Hold on, I'm moving in. Latch onto my ship and I'll take you up top. Enemies have your position. I'm moving in for support. I'm taking them out. Got 'em. Come on, Ratchet. Latch onto the ship. I'll take you to the top. You're doing great, Ratchet. Remember, reward over consequence. You can do this. You're all clear, General. I'm locking on now. Got it.
There you go, Azumuth is actually helping us throughout the entire fight, and now we have to deal with the proper core of VVX-99.
Of course it looks like Nefarious' face.
Again, I really do like this boss fight because, you know, it's in progress, it has a bit of a Shadow of the Colossus kind of thing, or, you know, being bigger in scope and multi-stage, and it's not just another big target that's super spongy. You need to, you know, work around and solving a bit of a puzzle to actually get there.
I will say, while I might still prefer overall the original trilogy better,
There we go.
I do feel like the future series has improved on the boss designs immensely along the way.
Now come on. Latch onto my ship. When that turret explodes, it'll rupture the entire core.
Well, sucks to be anyone who lives on this planet.
To put the end of Red Planet, fuck this planet, without humor.
But there's people living here.
You did pretty good back there. I'm heading to refuel.
For a second there I thought the whole planet was gonna blow up.
No,
It'll be
we
like-
just, to be fair, we did destroy the VX-99 while it was hovering above and nothing in particular, so...
Because otherwise I was going to be like, wait, is this like Suburban Commando, where they say mission accomplished even though he just kind of left the people he was meant to save to die?
Well, remember, we're technically
Next you're gonna tell me that, you know, Afterburner is actually mistaken for a spaceship fighter again. Now I'm just gonna get to that Zoni while I'm at it, and then we're actually done with the place. Again, the way the Zoni, these particular Zonies tend to work is that they actually, you know, escape around until a specific point, which acts as an excuse to have a platforming challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, these particular platforms are similar to the one of the second game. We just had to wait until the circle goes around.
What a nice throwback.
Also, that animation, you know, idle animation of Ratchet twirling a bit the Omni Wrench in it, I know that it's a bit generic when you get down to it, but it does remind me a bit of the animation that Sly tends to have in his games. I wonder if Insomniac wanted to be a bit referential. Especially because both Jack and Dexter and Sly are referenced in Rift Apart.
Yeah. I mean, the series were already crossing over by the time of Thieves in Time as well, too.
Again, mostly just Easter eggs. It's the epitome of that image of from regular show, where, you know, it's just a line of guys and then we cut back to the future and only one is left standing.
Copy that. I've got the coordinates.
Just so you know, I'm sorry you had to go so long without another Lombax to talk to. If I'd known you were alive, I would have come for you. Just know that from this day forth...
Yep, without another Lombax to talk to.
From this day forward, he's not in the other games.
Thanks, Azumuth.
Like, again, they really emphasize how, as far as Asimov knows, Ratchet hasn't met another Lombax, even though, again, if you've played 2, and shoot, even if you only glimpsed her from 3, you know that that's Punk.
Anyway, tuning for the next part, where we cut back to Clank and see what he's doing. See ya.
Yeah.